I have a template I have used many times to draw out a neck blank for a Tune-o-matic. We're not doing that this time. This one's going to be flat body, so this won't really help me too much. That one also has more angle on the headstock than we're going to do this time. So from our head plate template, I figured out how long we need that to be, just a hair over 7 inches, which actually will give us some extra space, some extra length, just in case. Put a 10-degree line there, marked a 1/4 inch for our nut, and then drew our neck profile. Actually, I started by looking at my body blank material and the top material, and those two together are just a little bit more than 1 3/4 inches, which I think will be about perfect. So I marked me a piece, actually 1 7/8, just so we got a little extra meat just in case. You know, we're probably gonna have to plane a little bit off of the top. That's already jointed, I'm positive, but once the whole thing comes together, you may have to peel off just a little tiny bit, so give us a little extra to play with. I put my heel cut here further back than we should need it. I should double check that just in case, but I think that's the case. So I think we can start by taking this neck stripe material and cutting these, and then go from there. We'll need 2 of the sapele. We'll need 1 walnut that will get resawed, and those 2 pieces thickness down to probably less than a 1/4 inch. And I may put veneer between the runners and the rails again, just because it looks awesome. We'll see. Now, these are going to get thinned down a lot. The core is going to get tapered and also thinned down a lot. So, I know, it looks pretty ridiculous at the moment, but it won't for long. Okay, a couple things I got to keep in mind. We drew our neck dimensions on the core stripe. So I had planned on cutting it out of this one and using this one as a template for the others. We have to do that before we can taper the core. Another thing is the way that mahogany stick was. It had an angled cut at the end of it. The long part of that is more than long enough for what we need. The other end, not quite. Looking at full length, set in place the full length, it's just, I mean, right there. I thought it was actually going to be a little bit shorter, but it's right there, which is a little close for comfort. However, at the headstock end of this blank, we're close to 1 inch shorter on the top stripe. And down here at the butt, we're actually probably at least an inch shorter on this stripe as well. So, if I remember in glue up to shift this one down just a little bit, then we should be good. So, I guess now we really need to cut this profile and then use it as a template for the others. And I should have more than enough maple veneer that we can put a veneer stripe between the walnut and the mahogany. Yeah. Okay, I had a little bit of a snag. This maple was from a reclaimed school table, and stuff is dense as hell. I think it's rock maple. It's hard as hell. It does have a little bit of bird's eye in it, but I mean, all in all, some pretty stuff. However, when I went to cut the profile out, I found a screw hole. I knew there were a couple in here, but I figured they were out of the way, but we did catch it in there. So, this just purely became a template. So I had to break out some prettier stuff that I had not planned on being the core of a neck, most of which you're not going to see, but this stuff will work nicely. So I'm going to go cut another one, and then we can start profiling. Okay, I think I've decided, instead of how I normally do this, I think I'm going to glue up each side, get all that put together, same with this side, and then after the fact we can just, thickness these down to get our runners down to thickness. Then we can taper the core, well, cut profiles, and then taper the core. Alright, I guess we're going to glue these up. I am going to use the core as a clamping caul. So we'll glue these up, get all this clamped, put it aside, get the other side clamped up, or glued up, and then clamp it all together. So, yeah. Now we wait. Nice thin runners. Next step is to verify measurements. And I already looked at this. I had drawn our profile on here and intentionally stayed a little conservative on our cutaway. I mean, that's like an inch at least. However, from the back drawing, that's going to swoop out a little bit, so that's probably a safe bet. Meanwhile, I know our truss rod sinks a 1/2 inch deep, and right now Where I've got the line drawn is about where I actually want the cut. So we're going to go outside the line and cut in the profile for now, and then work everything down later. Make that more right at 3/4 inch. And this is just over 3/4, and that's alright. So we're in a situation where what we've got drawn on that core stripe is pretty exact to the drawing, which is slightly frightening. Okay, so again, we're going to cut outside the lines. Of course, we're doing some type of a head plate. I don't know what it is yet. Well, I know what it is yet, but I don't know how thick it's going to be. So, you know, a certain amount of this is going to wind up coming off too, but not right now. So I guess it's safe to go cut the profile. I think this time on the taper jig we're going to super glue masking tape instead of using the screws. Let's see how that goes. I don't know, the screws might have been easier. Got the core glued to the 1/4 inch taper jig, and as long as I'm waiting a couple minutes for my super glue to dry, we can go ahead and start cutting these guys. Alright, the last taper job, thank God. Then I can close the damn garage door, because holy shit, it's cold. Okay, well, since the entire platform is just as flat as it can be, I put some wax paper down. This thing is pretty good and flat, so I'm going to use this to do our glue up and just try to glue up with everything just as flat on that platform as possible. So and with that, we got a neck blank. As soon as this is all dried up and ready to roll, we can start shaping it a little bit. Dig out the truss rod slot, and start building a fretboard. So we got a neck blank. I think it's going to be a pretty neck. It's so damn cold in here. The excess has actually frozen instead of dried, I think. I've never seen wood glue look like that before. Yeah, but anyway, piece at a time. She's coming along. Stick around for the next one. Thanks for joining me. If you like what we're doing, if you're digging it, like and subscribe. Catch you next time.